So welcome back to the Tom Ryland YouTube channel that I am doing loads of different stuff, from looking at tech to sharing my thoughts and ideas. And today I thought I would jump into something that I sort of have got on my mind, something on my mind that I started last night that I'd quite like to do more of in my spare time, which is basically doing Instagram audits of different people that I know to help them out, and also to push myself with design and ideas along the way. So let's see if I can share my screen. So let's get it here. Share screen, entire screen. So what I've been looking at is a company over in, I want to say, Mold direction. I don't know where, that's the only closest thing I know. So not far from where I'm based. So they're a campsite. So a campsite which has a cabin, hand built. They also do courses. That's Seb there, the owner. And they basically do camping. Let's see if I can zoom in. So they've got a lovely campsite in this sort of woodland area. I'm getting blinded by the own sun. And it's basically looking at ideas of what I can take from everything I've learned from marketing, photography, videography, ideas, design, and seeing if there's anything that I can add to it along the way. So what I've done is I've done it in Figma. So Figma is more, I learn using Figma whilst doing UX design. So it's usually designing websites or apps. But what I thought it would be quite cool is they have a community of designers. So then I've looked for a Instagram layout, took an Instagram layout, so then I can play around with the look and feel, because then it saves going on the right hand side of the screen. It saves basically going live with the photos and videos and going, this works or this doesn't work, because you do like a designed version to see what stands out. And then hopefully I can just share at the end of, these are different options that look good. What do you reckon would be, what would stand out for your clients in this regards? And then hopefully I can just do more and more and churn them out a lot quicker as time goes on. But yeah, so we've got the real Instagram page to the side. So it's the tree tops and train tracks. So that's the name. Obviously you've got it there. You've got a bit of the bio, you've got a link tree, link, and then you've got all the different sort of stories that have been saved a long time. And then you've got the different posts. Obviously they've got your reels and you've got your tags, but I've just done the post element. I'm slowly working on here. So these are my two options of what I've come across so far that I'm playing around with. So I've sort of tried to change the top by adding just some emojis. So these are iPhone emojis, but I think you can use Android as well. So sort of, could we potentially put the location? I'm wondering at a glance, it's figuring out how much information we want to put here. So currently it's the adventure of a family who bought a woodland on a disused railway in Wales and turned it into a campsite. And then it's got family fun, learning and projects. So it's basically going, that is setting up, like, to some extent, I'd really find it interesting having a video or reel about the family, where they bought it, sort of like an intro video to get into the, like, it's as if you're watching a program and it's just getting you up to scratch of what's gone on. Because I've gone for a slightly different tactic of how do we do it as small and as thin as possible, less reading. Because a lot of the time, probably from my dyslexic brain, is I would jump to the photos and videos. So I'll only read bullet points. So it's sort of going digital detox, because people normally tend to want to break from stuff when they go camping or that type of thing. Charge, just because a lot of people can be quite drained and they want to go on holiday. So it's sort of giving them a bit of a flavour of what could come. Mold, so something that stands out that people might know where it is. North Wales, if people don't know where Mold is, or maybe it could be Mold, Flintshire, or within Flintshire. Get rid of that. Half an hour away from Chester. I've not timed it. I've just thrown it in as an idea, as I saw another company do that. But it's really good. It's basically they either put how far away you from Chester or Liverpool or Manchester, something that people usually know whether it is. Because then when you're looking for campsites or coming across it, you might be in South Wales coming across this post and go, oh, North Wales, actually, that's a bit too far for what I'm looking for. Or you might be in Chester, come across and go, oh, it's only half an hour away. That's not too bad. I'll go and check it out. So it's sort of stopping those, oh, where is it? How far is it? How much does it cost? What is it like? It's trying to, how do you nip it in the bud as soon as possible regarding what people are thinking about? So obviously with holidays, people are thinking about how much it might cost, how far is it, how much time they might need to take off with holidays, and sort of removing those barriers where you can. Linktree, I've not done anything with that, but I'd quite like to click on it and then I can flesh out what it could look like to the right hand side. So that would be good fun, and to practice UX stuff or see if there's someone in the community that's already created it. Then I'm slowly working basically on the stories part and trying to figure out what is the most useful things that people might want to know about. So I'm thinking cabin tour, tent tour, because they might want to know what it looks like from just like a handheld iPhone, zoomed out camera, POV type of style, so people can know what it feels like, maybe on arrival. So maybe like a quick summary of, you get to meet Seb and Hannah, and then you can walk through the campsite. They'll explain stuff. Bish bash bosh, done. So then people know what to expect. Maybe some reviews. So I know they've got their own website. They're on other websites. They're on Airbnb. So could we pull some of those different reviews and have them there? FAQs. So people might want to know if there's Wi-Fi or electricity or no electricity or whatever. And then I was half wondering about having like a booking one maybe, but I might cut that off and just keep it simple. And then it's trying to figure out what type of imagery do we want to go for? Because I have seen on here, can I zoom into this one? Yeah, so what I'm wondering is, could we change the word? So on my examples, what I'm going to see how it's like is put the word in the text at the bottom because that's already inserted there. Because I've noticed when some people put emojis in this sort of text box, it's quite hard to see. But obviously, because it's white text on black, it's dead easy to read. So could we have text in there, and then you've got more space to add images within this section? So that's what I'm going to try and do. And then I'm going to see, is it worth me taking the sort of, I think there's 3 different greens by the looks of it. Obviously there's a brown and maybe the white, but I don't know if the white is just opacity element. But it's taking those different things and I'm going to play around with it. Do we want it as a white background? So it's like, oh, that stands out very clear. Or do we want a more brown background or something a bit more slightly dull, so then your eyes don't go directly towards it? So for example, on this side over here, my eyes gravitate towards these because there's like a white or cream or something. I think it's white, a white background. But if it was more dull like this, I'd gravitate towards the logo because it's the white background, or these because they're quite colourful. So it's figuring out, how do you want to play about, do you want it just to be less intrusive or more intrusive? Do you want to be like, go check, have a look at these, I've spent time, energy, money on it? Or is it like, oh, these are just extra information, I don't mind pushing them as much, people can sort of bypass them, people might bypass them. And then we're moving on to the top 3 posts. The top 3 posts normally on Instagram, you can tend to pin to the top. So pinning them to the top basically means that you can continue to post, and they'll get posted as the sort of 4th one down. So then it bypasses the top 3 and then gets posted down. So the first 3 are sort of the eye grabbers to some extent. Obviously, we've got 2 of the cabin, as I know it's a new one. I don't think any audio will be played. Let's turn it off. So we've got a cabin overall up to date of what it looks like, real. And then we've got a sort of coming soon, this is what's been going on building. And then we've got a timber framing course with a freebie. So with these, I'm pretty sure you can create custom covers for them, but I'd probably have to double check. I'm pretty sure you can, because that's what I've been doing on certain stuff. So what I would lean towards maybe is one of two things, but I've gone down one route and I might challenge myself with the other route. Is I've gone for the first one to be the cabin, as that's a brand new feature that is needs to be publicized. Second one is the campsite. So those that might not be able to afford the cabin but enjoy and like the look of it can go for camping. So this is like the iPhone Max. This is the iPhone normal. And then you've got the courses. So things that are going on in the campsite. Obviously, there's one other one that you could do. You could have just like a summary of what's gone on, of like focusing on the family business, what are they doing at the campsite, what have they done, what are they hoping for. So it depends on basically, do you want to put the tree tops and train tracks on the different products that they provide? So you got the campsite, you got the cabin at the campsite, you got the camping, and you got the courses. So what I've done is I've created a second design to play around with what stands out, because obviously it's nice to see the different colors. But over here, I've took some of the branding. So it's the 3 different greens, and then the brown background to then make these pop. So let's see if I can make this a bit bigger so it's easier to see on the screen. There you go. That's hopefully a little bit clearer. So with this, you've got the 2 sort of extremes that I've pushed it. I've sort of deliberately made it quite dark to see what does it look like if it just stands out of, bam, this is what it looks like. Ideally, I'd probably want a photo that's slightly lowered down, so you can see more the cabin rather than higher up. I'd prefer it slightly lower, and probably the opposite with the tent. I'd probably want the tent to be more in the middle. But I've just nabbed these photos of what is currently there, and then obviously the timber frame, and I've just nabbed from an already Instagram post, but probably have it a little bit further out so you can see what's going on. Or maybe a zoomed in one of someone working, I'm not sure. So with the right one, as you come onto this page, you'll go, oh, it's North Wales. This is a tour if I want to know what's going on. At a glance, you know there's a cabin, there's tents, there's courses. And then you'd basically create a carousel. So it's multiple photos where you swipe, and then it would basically be everything that comes with the cabin. And then maybe like a swipe again, a little bit more about it, or maybe some close-up photos or something and so forth. So at a glance, you like people know that they gravitate towards the cabin, or, oh, we really want to go camping. Let's click on the camping. What does that involve? Really want to go on the course. Obviously, with the course, you might want to keep it up to date. So save constantly changing this post. You might be able to get away with, when you swipe, go, there's X amount of courses per year, go to the website to check out. Or these are the types of courses that we've done in the past. This was the date. This is the date. We try and keep it towards these times and dates throughout the year. So then you're giving a little bit of information so people know what courses they are and roughly what time of year. But each time you know exactly the date, you don't need to then go to it. So it's just giving an idea. So there's pros and cons with both right and left. I'm sure everyone will have their own opinion. I'll just zoom into this one just for now. So obviously, right at a quick glance, you know exactly what it involves, cabin and the photo. What you could technically do is carousel, swipe to the right, and then it removes all this backing, maybe. That's another thought. Obviously, the ones to the left, you make the most of all the colours and the greenery and the trees that might draw people in. So you could just maybe not make the background as harsh as brown as I've done. I've deliberately gone to the 2 extremes because I want to know what it looks like as it sort of pops out completely. And then what does it look like if it's completely not popped out as a glance? So yeah, this is something that I'm currently working on. I've not yet finished. I'd like to do other companies or people if people are interested as time goes on. But yeah, I thought I'd try it out with the Treetops and Train Tracks company, as I know them and they will, I'm sure, find it helpful or interesting if they take it away just to think about it or want to take it all. Either way, I'm sort of learning the craft of Instagram, what draws people in, a bit of a trial, and also practicing my Figma skills regarding how to use it, making sure that I'm using it and not losing that skill set. Because a lot of the time I'm doing quite a lot of video editing currently, or researching, or using Canva. So I want to make sure that I can keep on top of Figma, especially as new updates come in with that. But yeah, so let me know your thoughts, comment anything that you like about it, what stands out, what is something that you might not be as bothered, or maybe ideas that you've thought that I can implement and give it to the sort of the community that are following me. Be sort of a creative director in your thoughts of what stands out. What would you like to see? I guess more specifically, along this list, what would you want to know going to a campsite? Do you want a bit of a walkthrough so then you feel less anxious getting there? Or maybe you want less of a walkthrough and just what is there when I get there? Because actually, I want that first walkthrough to surprise me of how amazing and colourful everything is. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. But yeah, this is video 13, I think. I've started live streaming some Bible verses, going through the Bible, as that is something that I wanted to trial. I'll do these probably videos as maybe more business stuff for now, and I might chop and change as time goes on. But yeah, let me leave you in some prayer, as I've been told that people enjoy that, and I enjoy that, and we always need more prayer in our lives. So I'll finish with that. Yeah, thank you, Father, for the ability of being creative. Thank you that there's so many businesses, so many charities, so many non-profits out there doing amazing work. Lord, I pray that everyone that is watching this, that they may be able to have discernment and wisdom of knowing where their little piece in the cog of this world, of knowing what to do, if it is creative or if it is admin, to build amazing stuff for people to, find their purpose in and help out other human beings. Lord, I pray that we can have this blessing of recharge and detox from the digital world as we need it, as that's one area that we're focusing in on this video. But Lord, let us remember to have a break in this busy time. Sometimes it can be physically busy, sometimes emotionally, and sometimes mentally. But Lord, that you are still there, drawing us to peace, drawing us to you. I pray this in your mighty name. Amen. All right, I will love you and leave you for now. Bye for now.